All right, this is another week of training. This is the last week of the speed block, the first speed block of the year. This week looks pretty much similar to all the other weeks. We're adding a little bit more throwing in as we get closer to the season, and we're entering now into more of like the preseason prep mode as opposed to like off season. And like I said, everything's pretty much the same. Except the rep scheme. We're doing a 8x2 for all the main lifts, and so that's at about 70%, around 70% of my training max for those. All right, now we'll jump into some WOB, some weight over bar practice. I don't really warm up for WOB. I just kind of take some crappy pulls at first, and then I'll get back into the swing of it. Normally what I do for WOB practice is like if I make it over at like 3 times in a row, then I'll raise the bar. But this week, I got it 3 times in a row. I went to go raise the bar, but my ropes are all worn out and frayed. They wouldn't move on the pulley. They wouldn't move at all. So I was just stuck at 13, which is fine. I got it a few more times after that. And then I ended up breaking it. You'll see at the end. So I need to change the cables out, and now I have like a real reason to, because it no longer works as a WOB standard. But I'm just trying to keep that cue of like pulling from my toes and not from my heels, because the timing issue. If you pull from your heels, I think you're already behind the curve. But if you're pulling from your toes, it gives you just that like split second more of like actually keeping it out in front of you before you stand up with it. But all in all, it's a pretty good WOB session. I can't complain. And my rubber mat that I put down is really helping me not break handles. Because when you break 3 WOB handles in a practice, that really puts a damper on your week of training. And then some more bench. Evening session, more row variations. I also did pull-ups. I never filmed those, but every time I do a bench day, I'm going to do pull-ups. Like I'm going to superset pull-ups in with the bench. And this is the 56 for distance, heavyweight for distance. This practice actually went pretty well. I think the best I got was 35, which I'm pretty excited about. I mean, I had a couple really wonky throws in there, but I think the ones I didn't film a few of them just because I was just trying not to get in my head too much in the practice and just focus on the movement. But I had a couple good ones. I'd say it was a pretty consistent practice. That one went kind of far, but I didn't like how it looked. I didn't turn through it enough. I just kind of like stuck it out there. All right, now we're doing the lightweight for distance. In this lightweight practice, I'm really working on one cue, and that's planting my left foot out the back. Because what I've been doing, when I come out of the back on that first turn, when my left foot comes down, I end up shifting it a little bit to the right of the trig, and I'm taking like 2 little steps in the middle with my left foot. I'm trying to cut that out, stay more connected to the ground, and hopefully build a little speed off of that. But in that process of trying to work that in, I ended up kind of doing a lot of like, when I get to the finish, of pulling off of my left side, and you really want to stay more over towards the right. Like that was kind of in the middle. I want to stay a little more right than that. But yeah, the hard thing is when you're adding in a new technique, or like you're carrying your weight differently in a throw, is how to incorporate that into the whole throw, so you're not doing like right there, pulling off to the left. You got to find the rhythm to make it all work. But towards the end there, lightweight was kind of kind of duty, but the middle of that practice was very good. I think I averaged about 70-ish, maybe a little higher. Do some stand throws. Pretty much anytime I throw stones, I'm going to start with a stand throw non-reverse. I'll do those for about 5, and then I'll do like a standing reverse, standing with reverse, like a braemar toss. I do those for about 5, and then jump into my full throws that I'll do for usually about 10 throws. And stones are not my favorite event. They are one of my worst events. And so I do them about 3 days a week. I program them in. If I hit 2 days, great. 3 is ideal. Just to try to really nail down some technique and get an understanding for it. Because if you're trying to work on an event and you've got no understanding of it, no like feel for it, like you're not gonna get very far with it. So you gotta put in a lot of time to try to develop a feel for that event, and then you can really work on dissecting it and figuring it out. In push press day, the AM session, second bench variation, dumbbell bench. And I switched those landmine rows out for like a single arm, like dumbbell row. I've seen people call them like croc rows or whatever. Either way, it's just a heavy dumbbell. I think I did these at 110, 120 maybe. And I like to do these with no strap. Most of my rows I do with a strap. But I don't know, for single arm rows, I like them a lot more without the strap, but that's just what it is. And some speed deads, the PM session. I'm just trying to just pull all the way through to my toes. And again, 8 sets, 2 reps, pretty much everything. More rows, tons of rows. Gotta build a back. If you're not building a back, what are you doing? And I ditched the hip thrust. We do a lot of hip thrusts this off season. Switched them out for some RDLs. Dude, these are the best. I forgot how much I actually enjoy doing them. And then we got the Friday clean session, clean and snatches. We're doing these for I think 6 sets of singles is what they ended up on my top set. And I much prefer to do Olympic lifts in singles. My snatch needs a lot of work. It's not. I'm not vibing with it these days. I finished with like 3 sets of like doubles on the high hang snatch. Or box squats. These felt pretty good. Like when they start getting heavy, like in the next block, I'm gonna start hating these again. But right now, I'm kind of enjoying them. And then I always do good mornings on at least once a week, and I have for years and years. I've probably talked about this before, but they are just a bomb-proof accessory lift. Like they help out your posterior chain so much, and they're not easy, but they're worth doing. So then jump into the. I've been doing these a lot more lately. They're super fun, behind the neck, like split jerks. And I normally do them for like 3 sets, 3 singles, which isn't a lot, but I try to progress the weight up. And on this one here is like kind of like a PR for me. I think is 290. Yeah, it's 290, which felt good enough that I'm like, I could probably go heavier. So we might work on that for the next week or 3, something like that. Again, just like anytime I throw a stone, it's going to be 5 non-reverse, 5 reverse, and then I move into like a full throw. And these didn't go particularly far, but they were all very consistent what I've been doing lately. So I'm glad to keep the consistency there throughout the weeks. But as I watch these, I'm not doing anything remotely close to what I want to do. And I was just kind of, I guess I was phoning it in when I was doing those stand throws. It didn't. It was whatever. Sometimes you phone it in. The open stone. I think the best I got here on the open on this day was 43, which I'm not happy about. But again, like I wasn't dialed into the stones. Like I came in there with a mindset of throwing heavy hammer. You'll see that at the very end. And oh, there's my child. But so yeah, the same thing with earlier in the week with the lightweight is we're working on that middle section on that left foot, just keeping it planted and keeping it ready to push off of, and not trying to readjust it to push off of. Staying long through the throw. This was a pretty good day. It is a little bit of a downhill, so I can't be too excited if I drop a big bomb out there. But I think the best was 73, which I'm not upset by. I think only 2 of my 6 or 7 throws were under 70. And so I'll take that any day of the week. Now I move into the heavy hammer. This is the first time I've thrown heavy hammer like all year. And I figured we got competitions coming up, better get a hold of that thing. That first one was complete dog water. This one went about 10 feet further, but also wasn't happy about it. There is one here that, two in here that I was actually pretty excited about, and they were some of the last 2. I think this is the pretty good one where I stay over my right a little bit more. No, that wasn't it. Heavens no. But I want to stay over my right. Have a big long sweepy push. That was it. That one went 101, which isn't my best practice heavy hammer, but it was right in that ballpark, so I'll take it. That one was good. I kind of released it a little weird. I gotta slow it down and rewatch it, but that's it, guys. Thanks for watching.